Good day, dear students. Today we will discuss problems regarding chapter 3 that mainly discuss traditional methods of investment appraisal, and the doctor has made many lectures for both of the payback method and the return on capital employed method. Here the first problem is concerned about a company that has three investment proposals from three division that it acquires. The first regarding the electronics division, it has put forward a proposal to produce a new type of calculator which because of rapid technology change can only be expected to have a 4-year life once the production facilities have been set up during the first 12 months. The property division, the second division, proposed taking a 4-year lease on a building that already has a tenant paying an annual rent. The third one, the mining division, proposed to spend 1.5 million developing a small copper mine. The mine would only have a 3-year life. At the end of that time, the environmental damage the company had caused would need to be rectified at a cost of 0.75 million. The net cash flows of each project, like you can see here, excluding working capital. And here we want to mention what Dr. عاطف said, that the working capital we exclude from calculation of the payback method because it is recovered at the end of the project. So here we will calculate the payback period without including the working capital. As for the first project here, at year 0 and year 1 there are two cash outlays. For the property project, it has only one outlay at year 0, like you can see, and mining at only year 0. So the company has a criterion of 3-year payback period. So what shall we start with here? Calculating the payback period for each of the projects. Here at the first project we have two outlays at year 0 and year 1 for the preparation of the calculators, and starting from year 2 there will be $800 or pounds, and at year 3 there will be another 800. So this sums at 1,600, which does not pay back the initial investment. But when we add the 800 of the 4th year, it will add up more than the initial investment with 2,400, as you can see here. So here the payback period for the first project is 4 years, so it will be rejected by the company because they have a criteria of 3-year payback period. As for the property project, it has 1,000 pound initial investment, and it has 200 for the first year cash inflow, 400 for the second year cash inflow, totaling 600. When we add the third year's cash inflow of 400, it will add up to 1,000. So this pays back the initial investment for the second project, meaning that the second project has a 3-year payback period. For the mining project, it has initial outflow of 1,500 with 500 in the first year and 1,000 in the second year. So as we can see, there are only 2 years to pay back the project, the initial investment of the project. Speaking about the second part of the chapter, it deals with the return on capital employed. Here, the problem relates to a manufacturer and distributor of ice cream. The management are currently considering a project that will require capital expenditure of 200,000 together with 50,000 of working capital. So the initial investment here is 200,000, and the working capital that will be needed through the time span of the project is 50,000. The capital equipment expected to have a scrap value of 80,000 at the end of its 4-year life, and 80% of the working capital will also be recovered. The remaining 20% of uncovered working capital will consist of bad debts and spoiled stocks. The project annual revenues and operating cash costs are estimated as follows, like you can see in thousands. The revenues here and the operating costs here, we will deduct the operating costs from the revenues in order to get the cash inflows or the profits for each year. And remember that these numbers are in thousands. So what is the remaining of the problem? Here the company calculates depreciation on a straight line basis, and we remember that it has 4-year time span, or the lifetime of the project is 4 year, and normally projects are evaluated using both payback and the return on initial capital employed. There is a little bit more information in this point. When we say initial capital employed, it is a little bit different from average capital employed in the calculations. So we have to pay attention to which capital employed the requirement is talking about the return on. Here, return on initial capital employed. The criterion used is 3 years for payback and 13% for return on capital employed. The requirement is to evaluate the project using the company's criteria. So first we will get the payback. The payback period here, excluding working capital, like Dr. عاطف said, that it finally recovers its amount. So 200,000, the initial investment, will be recovered on 50 plus 60. Here it only totals for 110, and then adding another 110, so this will cover the initial investment with a 3-year time, 3-year period for the payback. This will lead to the other criteria for the management to judge about the project, which is the return on initial capital employed. First, we need to have the annual average annual profit. In order to have this average annual profit, we need to get the net profits excluding the depreciation. So we get the net cash flows for each year and deduct the depreciation for each year. And as the problem said, the depreciation strategy of the company is a straight line. And with this straight line, we calculate the depreciation by deducting the scrap value and dividing the result on the number of years of the project. Here 4 years, and the initial investment is 200,000 and the scrap value is 80,000, so we have here 120,000 to be depreciated on 4 years using the straight line method. So each year will have its part of 30,000 to be deducted from the net cash flows of the project for each year in order to get the profits for each year, like here, like we can see. And adding these numbers up, we get the total profit of 120,000. What we do with this amount, we divide it on the lifespan of the project, getting the average annual profit of 30,000. To get the initial, to get the return on initial capital employed, we have to divide this average annual profit over the initial capital employed. Here was 200,000 plus 50,000 working capital to be the denominator in this equation, to lead to 12% return on capital employed, and the company's criteria is 13% return on capital employed. So this will result in the company rejecting the project because it will not maintain the required return on capital employed. If the requirement of the problem was about the return on average capital employed, the calculation will be a little bit different. The denominator will be the same, 30,000, but the denominator will not be this amount, will be the capital expenditure minus scrap value divided by 2 plus the scrap value plus the working capital. You can find this equation on your book at the page 42, and it is a little bit important for you to stress on. I wish you followed what we were discussing, and please leave your questions in the comment or send it to me and on the team, on the team's application. Thank you for your listening, and have a nice day.